Shadows of Dealey Plaza, unraveling the tangled web of theories behind the Kennedy assassination. The assassination of President John F. Kennedy on November 22, 1963, remains a subject of intense speculation and investigation. While Lee Harvey Oswald is the officially recognized assassin, numerous other theories have circulated, implicating various individuals and entities. This video delves into some of these theories, focusing on figures frequently mentioned in various accounts. Number 1. Lee Harvey Oswald, the lone gunman. Lee Harvey Oswald, born on October 18, 1939, emerged as a central figure in the assassination of President John F. Kennedy on November 22, 1963. A former U.S. Marine, Oswald defected to the Soviet Union in 1959 but returned to the U.S. in June 1962, exhibiting pro-Cuban and pro-Soviet sympathies. On the day of the assassination, he was employed at the Texas School Book Depository in Dallas. The case against him included the discovery of a Mannlicher Carcano rifle, which he purchased in March 1963 under the alias A. Heidel. This rifle was linked to bullet fragments found in Kennedy's limousine. Witnesses placed someone resembling Oswald on the 6th floor of the depository around the time of the assassination. His subsequent actions, notably the murder of Dallas police officer J.D. Tippit approximately 45 minutes after Kennedy's assassination, heightened suspicions. Oswald consistently denied his involvement, declaring himself a patsy before being fatally shot by Jack Ruby, a nightclub owner, on November 24, 1963, during a live television broadcast. Number 2. Carlos Marcello, the mafia boss. Background: Carlos Marcello, born Calogero Minacor on February 6, 1910, in Tunisia, became a powerful mafia boss in New Orleans. His criminal empire extended across the southeastern United States. Marcello's animosity towards the Kennedys escalated when Attorney General Robert Kennedy intensified efforts to combat organized crime. In 1961, Marcello was deported to Guatemala, under the claim of his Guatemalan birth, as part of Robert Kennedy's crackdown, although he quickly returned to the United States. Theories involving Marcello in the Kennedy assassination center around his motive and capability to orchestrate such a plot. Marcello reportedly despised the Kennedys, particularly for their anti-mafia initiatives. According to FBI informant Jack Van Lanningham, Marcello confessed to having played a role in Kennedy's assassination, claiming he set up Oswald as a patsy. Marcello had the resources and criminal network to potentially plan and execute a high-profile assassination, leading some to speculate about his direct or indirect involvement. However, no concrete evidence has definitively linked Marcello to the assassination, and these claims remain within the realm of speculation. Number 3. Jack Ruby, the mysterious murderer. Jack Ruby, born Jacob Leon Rubenstein on March 25, 1911, had established connections to organized crime through his nightclub operations in Dallas. His shooting of Oswald, which occurred 2 days after Kennedy's assassination, sparked numerous conspiracy theories. Ruby claimed his motive was to spare the grief of Kennedy's widow, Jacqueline Kennedy, from an impending trial. However, his access to Oswald at the Dallas police headquarters, where Oswald was being transferred at the time of the shooting, led to speculation about inside assistance or negligence. Ruby's known associations with mob figures further fueled theories that he acted to silence Oswald. Ruby, while awaiting a retrial after his initial conviction for murder was overturned, died of pulmonary embolism secondary to lung cancer on January 3, 1967, in Parkland Hospital, the same hospital where President Kennedy was pronounced dead. His actions and subsequent death have remained integral to the enduring mystery and speculation surrounding the Kennedy assassination. Number 4. Santo Trafficante, the mafia connection. Background: Santo Trafficante Jr., born on November 15, 1914, in Tampa, Florida, was a prominent mob figure in Florida and Cuba. His criminal activities were heavily affected by the Kennedy administration's crackdown on organized crime and the Castro regime's takeover in Cuba, which disrupted Trafficante's lucrative casino operations on the island. Like Carlos Marcello, Trafficante is speculated to have had the motive to be involved in a conspiracy against Kennedy. the loss of his Cuban casino empire and the Kennedy administration's aggressive anti-mafia policies would have provided significant motivation. In later years, several allegations emerged linking Trafficante to the assassination plot. Notably, in 1987, former Trafficante lawyer Frank Regano claimed that Trafficante and Marcello had discussed eliminating Kennedy. Additionally, in 1994, a former cellmate of Trafficante reported that Trafficante had confessed to involvement in Kennedy's assassination, expressing regret. Despite these allegations, concrete evidence directly connecting Trafficante to the assassination has not been produced, and his alleged involvement remains speculative. Number 5. David Ferrie, the enigmatic figure. Background: David Ferrie, born in 1918, was a pilot and a fervent anti-communist in New Orleans, known for his eccentricity and alopecia. He was linked to anti-Castro Cuban groups and had associations with Lee Harvey Oswald, partly through their shared Civil Air Patrol background during Oswald's teenage years. Argument: Ferrie's death on February 22, 1967, just as he was about to be arrested in connection with the Kennedy assassination, thrust him into conspiracy theories. New Orleans District Attorney Jim Garrison named him a conspirator, citing his ties to Oswald and businessman Clay Shaw. Although Ferrie's death was ruled natural, caused by a cerebral hemorrhage, its timing raised suspicions. His deep involvement in anti-Castro activities and connections to key figures in the assassination narrative made him a notable figure for conspiracy theorists. Yet, no definitive evidence links Ferrie to the assassination plot. Number 6. Guy Banister, the ex-FBI agent. Background: born in 1901, Guy Banister was a former FBI agent turned New Orleans private investigator. An anti-communist, Banister was involved in anti-Castro activities. His office at 544 Camp Street was a hub for various right-wing activities. Argument: Banister's link to Lee Harvey Oswald, evidenced by Oswald's use of Banister's office address on pro-Castro leaflets in 1963, has sparked speculation. His anti-Castro stance and hostility towards Kennedy's policies led to theories about his role in a larger assassination conspiracy. Despite being portrayed as a possible plot orchestrator, concrete evidence connecting Banister directly to the assassination is lacking. His exact involvement, if any, remains unclear. Number 7. Clay Shaw, the businessman. Background: Clay Shaw, born on March 17, 1913, was a notable New Orleans businessman and director of the International Trade Mart. His life changed drastically when, in 1967, he was charged by District Attorney Jim Garrison with conspiring to assassinate President Kennedy. Garrison's controversial investigation suggested Shaw was part of a complex conspiracy. Argument: Shaw was accused of being a CIA operative and a key figure in the assassination plot. During the 1969 trial, Garrison presented a theory involving anti-Castro Cubans, the mafia, and the CIA. However, the evidence was circumstantial, relying on dubious testimonies. Shaw was acquitted after less than an hour of jury deliberation on March 1, 1969. Despite his acquittal, Shaw remains a subject in assassination conspiracy theories, fueled by Garrison's high-profile accusations. Number 8. The CIA intelligence agency involvement. Background: the CIA, with its history of covert Cold War operations and involvement in foreign affairs, especially in anti-communist efforts in Cuba, has been a focal point in various Kennedy assassination theories. The agency's role in the failed Bay of Pigs invasion in April 1961, an attempt to overthrow Fidel Castro, was a significant Kennedy-era event. Argument: theories about CIA involvement in Kennedy's assassination stem from Kennedy's alleged intentions to reduce the agency's power and change its foreign policy direction. Speculations include discontent within the CIA over Kennedy's handling of the Bay of Pigs invasion and his approach to Soviet relations. However, these theories lack substantial evidence, and official investigations have not corroborated any direct CIA involvement. The agency has consistently denied any role in the assassination. Number 9. Anti-Castro Cuban exiles, a revenge plot. Background: after the Bay of Pigs invasion's failure in April 1961, Cuban exiles felt betrayed by President Kennedy. The invasion, intended to overthrow Fidel Castro, had limited support from Kennedy, leading to its failure. This event intensified the Cuban exiles' resentment. Argument: some theories suggest these exiles, possibly supported by disgruntled U.S. intelligence elements, sought revenge against Kennedy for abandoning their cause. The hypothesis is rooted in the exiles' deep disappointment over Kennedy's perceived failure to support anti-Castro efforts. While the theory reflects the intense emotions of the time, concrete evidence of Cuban exiles' direct involvement in Kennedy's assassination is lacking. Number 10. The Federal Reserve, financial motives. Background: a fringe theory about Kennedy's assassination relates to his monetary policies, particularly Executive Order 11110, signed on June 4, 1963. This order delegated authority to issue silver certificates to the Secretary of the Treasury. Argument: the theory argues that Kennedy's order threatened the Federal Reserve's control over the U.S. money supply, potentially leading to his assassination by powerful financial interests. Proponents view Kennedy's direct involvement in monetary policy as an attempt to reduce the Federal Reserve's power. However, most historians and economists view the order as a minor administrative action, not an aggressive move against the Federal Reserve. No substantial evidence supports the notion that Kennedy's assassination was financially motivated by his actions regarding the Federal Reserve.